Hey Capricorn, Capricorn rising, sun, and moon. Let's get into your August horoscope. So, August for you, Capricorn, is asking you, what have you been avoiding in the name of control? Who do you trust with your body, Capricorn? Who do you trust with your energy? Who do you trust with your monies? The universe is asking you to surrender to what is real. On August 6th, Mars is going to be entering into your natal 10th house in Libra. This is the house of your career. This is your house, Capricorn. This is a house of authority, status, respect. And you are making moves at the top, but this isn't like brute force because Mars in the 10th house really wants to be intentional about what it does with its time. It wants to structure, its time. It definitely wants to move forward in its, in to initiate something, to get things done, but it has to be with some type of intention. And so you can expect workplace power dynamics to be happening. You know what I'm saying? If things are not moving, there can be tension with authority figures, or, public expectation. There can be this push to be seen, respected, and like regarded right now and rewarded right now too. But also there can be this public pressure, that can turn and trigger your internal rage. There can be this temptation to burn bridges that you actually might still need. What this is making you realize, Capricorn, is you don't need to prove yourself. You need to act like you already are the boss. You need to act like you already own the company, or you already own whatever you're doing. You are owning the room. Whatever room that you are walking into, you own it. On August 9th, Mars is going to be opposing Saturn, Neptune in um Aries. This is your fourth house. This is your 10th and fourth house. This your of course your career is demanding you, right? But you also have home reality, right? You have to have stability in your public life. I mean, you're in your private life. Even if you want public success, there can be success in your career, but it's costing you things at home. You may feel really burnt out but trying to hold it all together. There can be this disillusionment by what success is actually causing you. Family or this emotional weight can really be pulling you down and pulling on your energy. Mars wants structure, especially, Mars definitely wants structure at home, especially in the fourth house. Neptune is counting your boundaries within, your natal fourth house, and Mars is screaming, pick a lane, pick something to do. So this is a major reality check. It's like you can't keep building on an empire on an unstable foundation. You have to figure out what's going on at home in order to move forward within your career. Just letting things stabilize, like you have to take care of things at home. Let's just say that even though you're getting these opportunities, they're not going to pass you and they're not going to miss you, Capricorn. But take care of what's going on at home, and that can really propel you forward. On August 9th, we're also going to have the full moon in Aquarius, right? And this is in your natal second house of monies, your self-worth, your self-effort, your resources, your values. And something is going to end and reveal itself. Excuse me. There can be financial partnerships, or you're having to pay something. There could be self-esteem tied to productivity. There can be, you measuring what you make upon your own value, and you might even have to make a bold choice. Stay where it's secure, but it's very soul sucking, or take a risk to what feels more aligned. Let go of the scarcity mindset, Capricorn. There is more for you, and you really have to claim it. And as I said, it's taking care of what's going on at home. You know what I'm saying? Building a routine at home, doing what you need to do in the home in order for you to propel forward, because the home is where the so-called heart is. The space is where the heart is. You know what I'm saying? We can do so much on the outside world, but really we have to come back to this, because the fourth house is who we are when we're alone. And if everything is all angry at home and all tied up, that's the type of energy that you reflect when you go out into the outside world. On August 11th, Mercury is going to be going direct in Leo. Mercury going direct in your natal eighth house of intimacy, debt, share resources, secrets. And after the confusion that's been there when Mercury was in retrograde over taxes, over intimacy, clarity finally returns. A financial or emotional conversation is finally ready to be resolved. An inheritance or joint deal with the next person, with who you share finances with, is ready to move forward. You're likely going to be feeling ready to speak your deeper truth. And this is really about trust. You have to trust yourself. You don't need to control everything, Capricorn, but you do have to understand it. And I feel like that is what true intelligence comes in, and like true embodiment and trust. When you understand why you're doing something, what you're doing it for, and things of that nature, and also understanding the other person's point of view as well. On August 12th, Venus is going to be conjuncting Jupiter in Cancer. This is fantastic, right? This is lighting up your natal seventh house of mirrors, of other people, partnerships, relationships, marriage, soul connections. And something big may show up or show their true self. And it could be blissful, it could be romantic, it can be expensive, but it has to be real. And deep down, you can definitely feel it. Definitely be aware of projected fantasies, being seduced by surface level charm, losing yourself to avoid conflict. Love is a feeling, and it's not really confusing. Love is definitely freeing in some type of way. So you can expect a new or a deepening of a relationship. You can expect a business collaboration to flourish. You can expect a feeling of mutual growth, of expansion. Definitely remember that it's not that confusing. It shouldn't really confuse you, and it shouldn't confuse the next person. On August 22nd, the sun is going to be entering into Virgo, and this is your natal ninth house. Here, you're going to have to think bigger, right? The sun going into the ninth house. The ninth house is about wisdom, travel, education, your higher self. And the question is no longer how do you survive, but what is the mission? Your vision wants to expand, Capricorn, but the path requires humility, it requires effort, it requires like commitment. It requires not doubting yourself, travel, teaching, or um, launching something that brings you back into focus. It's time for you to focus on what you truly believe in, right? And it doesn't have to be something that you're, let's just say, that you're consciously aware of, but subconsciously, Capricorn, you know that you should be doing more. You know that you can think bigger. You know that you can expand your mind. If you choose to pay attention to detail, if you choose to really pay attention, Capricorn, because also the new moon in your ninth house is where it's like the fresh start that you've been waiting for. You can you can attend a class, you can launch a book, you can plan a long distance travel, you can move, somewhere overseas, you can commit to something on a deeper level, you can deepen your intellectual path. And this isn't a dream, it's definitely an assignment. It's time for you to align your outer path with your inner truth, Capricorn. On August 25th, Venus is going to be entering into Leo. This is in your natal eighth house of, money, power, healing, and transformation. This house, we can see this in. And you are really magnetic in your shadows now. There's beauty in what's raw, what's taboo, what's underneath the surface, what makes you have to transform. There's beauty in our shadows. There really is. And you can expect deeper intimacy. You can expect attraction that feels faded, financial breakthroughs with others. But Venus is here, so it definitely whispers, if there's no closeness, and you don't have to perform for closeness, you can invite it in. If it isn't showing, if it isn't giving what it needs to give, but it's performing, you need to walk away, Capricorn. I think this month really demands maturity. It really demands you to not grind until you break, but to be kind, to have some type of sacredness to you. You're shifting from like this survival mode to sovereignty. You know, you are going from overgiving to wise exchange, from proving to owning, you know, Capricorn. And the world needs to see you, and it will see you, but not just for what you want, it's for what you are becoming, Capricorn. And there's no performing power, because you are the power, Capricorn. Okay, so that's all I have for you. I hope that was helpful. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, please, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, Capricorn.